Alrighty, welcome back guys and gals, thanks for stopping by. Today I want to go over a little review on a early access game called Minimum that just released on Steam recently. I'm recording this video on 9/15/2014, so that's the time frame for when I say now if you're watching this at a later date. But alright, well here we go. I have just a very basic outline. More or less what I'm just going to cover is the game, if it's fun, what makes it fun, and then the gameplay footage as well. So after I get done chatting to you, I'll cut off my recording here and you guys can just listen to the game and TeamSpeak chatter if you want to continue watching. But alright, so the game's called Minimum. It is a well, one, it's an early access. It's overall fun, but kind of a little bit lacking, which is totally okay as an early access game. So let's take that from the top. It is a MOBA game, more or less, kind of akin to Dota, but a shooter, kind of akin to, I guess maybe, what is that? Smite. That's what it is. Smite. Kind of akin to Smite. You're playing as a character with your teammates to complete objectives and destroy the other team. There's a couple different game modes. There's Team Deathmatch, which I haven't played, but everybody's played Team Deathmatch. You just kill. There's one that's more or less called Titan in my memory here, and what it is you escort these big Titans that I'm running up to here, and you try and power up your Titan by completing other objectives in the game, and then when the enemy Titan dies, you're trying to escort yours to their base and kill their power generator or whatever the objective. And there's a third game type that I didn't play and don't recall anything about, but there's 3 different ways to play the game. So yeah, let's go into some of the kind of the in-game mechanics and such. So there are a couple different things to be aware of. There's upgrading in the game here, so you can see that like I'm using an assault rifle. There's a lot of different weapon types, and when you get a kill, it drops this little blue kind of sphere, shiny, sparkly thing, and so you run over that sphere to upgrade your weapons. Now your weapons, when you die, get reset back to 0, or to like level 1, right? So you kind of start over every death. So obviously better if you don't die. Now armor, which I'm looking at here, is something you can purchase throughout the game and upgrade throughout the game, and that does not reset as you die. So very important to kind of make that distinction. Don't worry about hoarding points for armor, because if you spend it, you're not going to lose it. It doesn't go away, period. Now weapons, like right there, that little orb I just got, that powered up my sword. Now I have a lightsaber. So it gets way better. Later on, that's where some of my complaints are going to come in. One other thing to mention about the weapons and the armor is that there is crafting. So some of the currencies you unlock, and I'm assuming some of the currencies you will be able to buy. This is not a free-to-play game. Well, it isn't yet. It might be modeled into as such, but you have to pay to play the game. You have to buy the game. But there is a crafting component where you can buy different blueprints to the the armor types and the weapon types. So allowing you to craft them in game and upgrade them in game. Well, not craft them in game. You craft them out of game, and then are able to use them and equip them in game, and then subsequently upgrade them in game. So yeah, there's that crafting component and the upgrading component. Some of the pluses I found about the game that are fun, other than just it's fun, is that the concept is entertaining. I like this kind of concept. I spent a lot of time playing Dota once upon a time, back when it was still in Warcraft 3, and I just kind of got a little bit tired of the overhead MOBA-esque gameplay. So I like the shooter style MOBA, or the third person MOBA, a lot. The games are very fast, not necessarily in the pace of the game. I mean, you can see the gameplay here. It's kind of a normal paced gameplay, nothing insanely fast, but you don't have to commit 45 minutes to a game. It takes 10-ish minutes to play a game. So that can be both a good and a bad thing. I tend to find it better as I find my time more restrained, as real life just continues to be real life. Another positive side to it, I think here's what I think is a positive side. It will allow a lot more people to play it. So the graphic requirements are not much, right? I mean, you can look at the graphics. They're very cartoonish. They're very Lego-ish. You don't need a beast of a machine to run the game, and that's a good thing for having a broader player base. So I think that is a plus. So with both the fast games not requiring an hour time commitment to play one game, and the fact that you can play it on a lot of computers, it seems to tend to make it lean a little bit more towards the casual side. And that's something I find myself valuing more and more as time is more restrained. So in all, on the positive side of this, I think this game has a lot of potential. There's some things that I found a little bit unfun, or not unfun, but just kind of still needing polish. And so I'll move into the the quote unquote negatives now. The gameplay is smooth but a little clunky at points. I don't necessarily mean like graphically clunky, but just some of the, I don't know, it's just difficult. It's just, there's the flow is interrupted at times by silly things. It's not overly tactical. Um, when you're playing MOBAs or arena games like League of Legends or Dota, your team really has to be on point as you get into the upper echelons of gameplay, right, and ladders and such. You can't mess up. There's a very defined tactic rule that you have to play. Whereas here, it's definitely more the run and gun. So that one may change as they push towards a full release and get out of their early access phase. But I tend to find that a little bit of I guess a slight turnoff. I like a little more tactic involved than just who has a better quick twitch. Because I'm getting older and now all the 12-year-olds can kick my ass, so I'm in the bottom tier, I suppose, at times. What else? The one really prime example I can point out to for clunkiness and silly things in the gameplay are the fully upgraded melee weapons, or even the melee weapons that are almost fully upgraded. I know there's been too many examples here in this gameplay, but running around with swords is insanely effective. So it's almost more effective to just get the armor that gives you movement speed and then just focus on melee weapons once you get them upgraded, because you can one or two hit people with melee, and that's really more time they can kill you with a firing weapon. There's no one-shot weapon that I've seen yet. So they run up, you hit you once, they're there, you turn around, try and get away, and you're dead from the second hit, or if you don't, just die outright on the first hit. So the one-shot thing is for the melee is really a bummer. I love the concept of melee in games, but as I've played more and more games, it does seem like it's a little bit hard to balance shooting versus melee, because you need to have shooting not be so supreme that melee is ineffective, but melee is also oftentimes either overpowered when you get to them, or way underpowered, and so the balancing of that mechanic seems to be somewhat difficult. So I hope they spend a little time on that and get it right. And what else? I think that's kind of it for the negatives. No real big screaming negatives, but a few things to consider. The areas I think that the developers could improve as they push towards a full release would just be the ones I just mentioned in the negative area. But in all, the game is fun. It has potential, though it did fail to captivate me for more than a few hours. I played, I don't know, 6 games on it, 7 games, so a little short-lived. But that's pretty much most of the games I play are all pretty short-lived. But what else? I think that's it. I think I'll leave it off there. So stay tuned for a couple more minutes of gameplay video if you want to watch. As always, I hoped this little review and my thoughts on the game either encourage you to buy it or to hold off until a different time. Just trying to keep you guys from burning your pocket money. But thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please like or subscribe, comment. Feel free to give me positive or negative feedback. Talking shit is always fine. And see you next time.
Enemy Titan destroyed.
Wow.
Look at that shit. They do like big hits, don't they? Big chunks of their health.
Yeah, I got like 3 nades off on it, so I don't know what you guys did, but something good.
Enough to get like 10 points, yeah.
Ugh.
Oh my god, that guy's still alive!
I can't quite tell when I'm hitting or not very well.
Yeah.
Me neither.
Power synthesizer.
I also feel like there's so many effects that you're like, oh god.
Synthesizer.
Yeah.
These my bullets?
My helmet gives me 30% more damage to Titans.
Oh, you went with synth too? Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Boom, baby.
Victory.